Is the ICO era making a comeback? Well, it's not quite the Wild West of 2017, but there's been renewed interest in early-stage crypto fundraising. Only this time, it's showing up with more structure and compliance. Today, we're zeroing in on two platforms, Echo and Sonar, which together have already helped projects raise more than $150 million. So, how do they work? What makes them different from ICOs of the early days? Echo and Sonar both started with Jordan Fish, popularly known as Cobie. He's been deep in crypto since the early 2010s. You've probably seen him on X, where he's got close to 1 million followers, or maybe you've heard about some of his crypto ventures like co-founding Lido or running the Up Only podcast with guests like Vitalik, Michael Saylor, and Mark Cuban. After the 2022 crash, Cobie stepped back for a bit, but when he came back, he had a new idea. Something to fix what he saw as one of crypto's biggest problems, early stage fundraising. You see, for years, it's been kind of the same story. Big VC firms get in early, scoop up most of the tokens before anything launches, and the community barely gets a shot. And to Cobie, that just didn't sit right. He called it an anti-pattern for decentralization. And so that is where Echo comes in. It launched in beta in March last year as a direct response to the gatekeeping around private crypto funding. Instead of deals being reserved for insiders and big funds, Echo opened the door for smaller investors to get access to early stage deals. Beam has been up to a lot lately. They're not just another blockchain. With a sizable treasury behind them, it's now a whole ecosystem focused on building and backing the kinds of technologies that'll shape what the internet looks like in the next decade. Stuff like DeFi, decentralized computing, and new kinds of dApps. Beam doesn't just fund things and step back. It invests, builds, and connects the dots across different technologies to create something that actually works together. But this isn't just Beam's vision. It could be yours too. With the Beam token, you get influence over how its ecosystem grows. So it's not just about watching cool tech emerge, but being part of building it, even if you're not a dev. You can learn more from their Medium page, which we've linked below, or just keep an eye on what's launching. There's a lot cooking. Its system is built around small groups made up of individual investors and led by what Echo calls a group lead. Typically, someone or a firm with a strong reputation, track record, or network in the space. These group leads are the ones who bring in deals and decide whether to open them up to their group. If you're in the group, you get the option to join the raise on the exact same terms as the lead. Same valuation, discount, lockup, etc. If you decide to take part, you deposit USDC directly from your wallet into a smart contract vault. Once the raise closes, Echo wraps everyone's funds into a single legal entity that makes one combined investment into the project. It then charges a 5% fee on profits, but only if the deal makes money. Group leads also earn a cut from the profits of those who followed them in, but again, only if the deal performs. If it doesn't, nobody gets paid. That said, it didn't take long before some issues popped up. One of the biggest problems was that everything had to stay private. Legally, founders using Echo couldn't promote their raises on Twitter, Discord, Telegram, basically anywhere public. So even if they wanted to involve their communities, they couldn't. Another issue was control. Echo's structure meant founders couldn't just run a raise however they wanted. They had to go through approved group leads to get their deal live. So that is where Sonar came in. It's basically a modern version of the ICO, just way more flexible and legal. It lets crypto teams launch their own tokens directly to the public without going through VCs or big launch platforms. They decide how the sale works, who can join, and how they want to promote it. It starts with the project team using Sonar's tool to configure the sale. They choose how it'll run, whether it's fixed price, an auction, or a points-based model where early or larger contributors get more allocation. Once everything is set, the team hosts the sale directly on their own site, so there's no central listing or launch pad. Sonar stays in the background, meaning it's up to the project to promote the sale, guide their community, and handle the front-facing experience. Behind the scenes, Sonar also takes care of compliance. Founders set the rules, like blocking certain countries or requiring accredited investors, and Sonar handles all of that automatically. And because it's integrated with Echo, it uses Echo's passport system. So if someone's already verified on Echo, they don't have to go through KYC all over again. And if a project needs extra info for legal reasons, Sonar can confirm someone's status without handing over their personal data. That way, investors aren't sending their ID to every project they join, and teams still stay fully compliant. Take Plasma, for example, the first project to use Sonar for its XPL token sale. They hosted the sale directly on their own site. The team built a vault system, set a deposit phase, and used a points model to determine allocations. All of that logic came from them. Sonar's job was to handle who could participate. It verified eligibility based on Plasma's criteria. For US users, that meant proving they were accredited. Echo and Sonar have already seen a lot of early action. Since launching last year, Echo has helped raise over 120 million for crypto projects. That includes notable names like Athena, Wallet Connect, and megaeth. megaeth has been the standout so far, raising 10 million across 2 rounds on Echo, both of which sold out in minutes.
I got sold out like within seconds or minutes.
The first brought in 4.2 million in just 56 seconds. The second did 5.8 million in 75 seconds. Over on Sonar, the first project to launch was Plasma, and it came out swinging. The team aimed to raise 50 million, but ended up with over 373 million in committed capital. That's more than 7 times oversubscribed, and only a small fraction of buyers actually got in. And it's not just Echo and Sonar pushing this model. There's also Legion, a platform from Delphi Labs that uses something it calls Legion Score to rank investors by things like on-chain activity, social rep, and community involvement. Then there's also BiddlePad, launched by former Binance exec Eric Zong. Like the others, it's trying to make token launches fair and still fully compliant. That said, the rise of these new ICO-style platforms hasn't come without a bit of drama, especially when it comes to venture capital. According to the block, community-focused fundraising has caused some tension with certain VCs. In late 2024, Echo said that some venture firms were pressuring projects not to give Echo investors better terms, or even telling them not to do community raises at all unless it was super late stage and at a high valuation. Cobie also mentioned that a few firms tried to block Echo deals after they'd already been agreed, just because the pricing was lower than what the VCs paid. But not every VC sees it that way. Some of the top names in crypto venture like Paradigm, Coinbase Ventures, and Hack VC have actually joined Echo themselves. They've set up their own groups on the platform and started bringing deals to the table. And this kind of support might be the start of a new norm, where even VC-backed projects give the public a chance to get in early using platforms like Echo. And this also benefits the platforms where people are more confident when it's big-name VCs leading deals. But the real question is whether this shift has staying power, or if it's just another bull market wave driven by a few flashy raises and early hype. So, what do you think?